Let us march on till victory has won.
They did march on to win what historians call one of the most decisive battles in the Civil War, the Battle of Nashville. It started on December the 15th in 1864 and ended on the 17th, when General George Thomas's Union Army defeated General John Bell Hood's Confederate Army. They are the black soldiers who fought in the Civil War. Fisk historian Revis Mitchell.
The Battle of Nashville is significant to the Civil War and to the history of the Civil War. And certainly the great outcome of the Civil War was freedom for African Americans. I think the significance lies in the fact that locally we celebrate the Battle of Franklin, we talk about the Battle of Stones River, but we seldom discuss the Battle of Nashville, in which Americans of African ancestry were pivotal in winning a major Civil War battle.
Each year, the African American Cultural Alliance marks the Battle of Nashville anniversary with a program, a reenactment at Fort Negley, and a memorial service.
This is a good book. It's called The Civil War, Black Soldiers. In it, it mentions Nashville, great pictures of Nashville, why it was important, and the fact that it says clearly that the black soldiers had a higher rate of casualty than either side, white, either Union or Confederate.
So often when people think of Civil War battles and they think of soldiers, they don't think of black soldiers. There's the mistaken idea that there'd be any great war in America and African Americans wouldn't be called upon to fully participate. One of my theories is whenever there's been suffering, African Americans have been more than allowed to have their fair share of suffering. There was a great deal of suffering in the Civil War. It was also manhood. It was a reaffirmation of manhood. When many people questioned the manhood of the African, many who enslaved, these men stood up, they stood toe to toe, and they fought not for a black cause, they fought for an American cause, and they were successful. So for 21 years here in Nashville, we celebrated that success.
Through songs, show and tell, and brief history lessons, marking the occasion is a sign that times have changed.
There are some 21 markers that denote the Battle of Nashville. It was about 5 or 6 years ago that a marker was erected for Nashville blacks in the Civil War that primarily dealt with the Battle of Nashville. In that battle, some 13,000 USCT troops, the United States Colored troops, were in that battle. They helped the Union Army to build Fort Negley, and before the war was over, they had constructed approximately 23 fortifications in Tennessee.
In the last 10 years, I must confess, since the popularity of the motion picture Glory, and much of what you see with the 369th, those black Union soldiers in Glory in South Carolina, is reminiscent of the Battle of Nashville, with one great exception. At Fort Sumter, the Union was defeated. In the Battle of Nashville, the Union won.
For the past 10 years, the few but faithful have participated in the reenactment.
Brigade Commander General Stevenson, in accordance with orders set by President Lincoln, this fort, orders of this day, numbers 12, 15, and 16. This post is now open and in commission. And salute. 2, dismiss. First time I was here was 10 years ago, and I came out alone because I felt compelled to remember our past history that needs to be remembered. The fact that black troops fought and died in and around Nashville has gone unnoticed for so long, and I feel responsible to the younger generation to pass on some knowledge and at the same time gain some knowledge for myself.
As General Hood's army advanced, the black soldiers were preparing by building European-style forts. They were armed with infield rifle muskets to prepare to hit their target.
In many cases, they were without shelter in some very cold and inclement weather, and they'd work their shift and sleep right there on the ground. Well, after the fortifications were all built, including this one, the Union Army felt that, well, we've got all this free labor right here, let's just put them into the Army. And and they conscripted them right into the Army in the same regiments and in the same gangs that they already were in.
But it must have been wonderful. It must have been gallant to know that they were going to aid their brethren in gaining the great American quality. That the Battle of Nashville and those black soldiers accomplished what the American Revolution did not accomplish: freedom for Americans of African ancestry.
From the battlefield to the grave, where many of the United States colored troops were laying to rest, their headstones bear their names and the acronym USCT. Now, this is a lesson that you may not have learned in school, but Kwame Lillard, Lynn Norris, and the African American Cultural Alliance hope it will leave a lasting impression.
Tennessee Civil War 150 is made possible in part by Tennessee Department of Education, Tennessee Civil War Sesquicentennial Commission, and Tennessee Civil War National Heritage Area,